Coming to you from Slovakia, because, well, this is where right now the Ground Power Stribog SP10A3 is available. That's right, 10mm, the best millimeter, the one everyone asked for, using UMP pattern magazines, which means they're available. Of course, if you buy the HK ones, you're paying way too much, but there's other options out there. Additional changes to this and updates, you'll see close-ups of. We've got a different integrated sight system that seems a little smoother. Also changed a little bit to the bolt catch and release. Probably has something to do with the size of the bolt, but just going to put some rounds through and get a feeling for it. Got a brake on the end of this one. See how it goes. And yes, there are sights. Even though I said it once, I know someone's going to ask again. How controllable is it for pairs? That stays pretty damn steady. Using tiny, fine, adjustable iron sights, I was not getting a whole lot of rise at all. This is roller delayed, I guess, not quite not the MP5 style, but the SP10A3 Stribog style that you might be familiar with from the 9mm, and it's definitely working because 10mm is not around that's necessarily fun in direct blowback. And that brake certainly works. Get Tia to put some rounds through it, see what she thinks.
That is fun. And being able to rest my hand here, because my thumb isn't going to get ripped off by the charging handle reciprocating, is a nice feature or ability.
So 10mm is usually violent and uncomfortable.
I have shot 10mm that are not pleasant to shoot in this platform, and yeah, there's nothing in this. I thought I was shooting 9 had I not known.
It's like a basey 9.
Yeah. That is very nice.
The Stribog SP10A3 should be in the US pretty darn soon. We don't have a whole lot of rounds through it or time with it. We haven't done our own testing, of course, but just in testing it with European ammunition here, not too far from the factory, pretty darn smooth. There's some cool upgrades and changes that are made to it beyond what you might know from your A9. So let's take a closer look at those features. And here we've got the SP10A3 as an example. Now what I show you feature-wise is going to apply to both the 10 and the 45. Just needed one to show it, but some of it is a little bit different than the SP9A3s you might be familiar with. Starting out up front, I do want to say this muzzle brake, which is one of Ground Power's, likely not to be in the US. You're probably going to see a thread protector because, well, ATF. Looking at the handguards rolling over to the top, you'll see that front sight that we were using to shoot from, if I can get this to focus for you, is tucked in nice and low there, so it's not going to snag on anything. It is metal and adjustable, and it corresponds with the rail. Now I'm losing it. There we go. That rail right there that looks like, to me, it'll probably still function as a pick rail if you wanted to put something over top of it, is your rear sight. So you've got a nice fine window there and a very fine front sight post that in our shooting today worked great, and with this thing staying so level we weren't losing it, so it was pretty nice. Now a lot of you are going to want to put red dots or optics on top, but keep in mind that adds weight, so when you want something that's lightweight and quick handling, shaving a couple ounces can be nice. shown clear, and you can see this chamber looks, or not the chamber, but this area inside looks considerably bigger. Drop the bolt from the other side. There we go. And coming down to the lower receiver, you notice a slightly different texturing on the front here. We still have a flared mag well. Magazine release is Ambi Plus. So I don't know if this is maybe something that'll work for some of the folks in Portland or whatnot, but you can go 3 ways on this one. Push button from either side, or using the lever tab below, which is pretty cool. We've got the improved trigger that came out on the A3s a while back in the US. And then the grip texture has also changed a bit. I noticed in wrapping my hands that my fingers fall perfectly onto this texture pad. And then the texture pad back here is right where you want it to be without any excess. That's great for a weapon you're going to be carrying all day. You don't want it chewing up on your hand, or if there was going to be high recoil. But as we already proved at the range, these things don't shoot like a 10mm. They're actually quite comfy. Field stripping is the exact same procedure that you're familiar with from the A3s. Popping a pin, pivoting the lower down, dropping your end cap, brace, or stock, and then out comes this buffer assembly. You see we've got the roller delay, roller lock. I've always been unsure on the exact terminology because people like to say roller lock is just the HK system. I don't know if they trademarked it, but there's a roller and it locks things and it delays things. So there you have it. Beefy bolt appears to be one piece carrier versus having the maybe looks like it's one piece. The old ones were shoehorned and dovetailed in so nicely that they also look like one piece until you really got them coming apart. You can see the guide rod that I believe goes into the carrier itself, and then a nice polymer buffer at the back end just to protect the gun, keep it from beating itself apart, also providing a little bit of recoil cushioning. However, from our shooting today, it looks like it didn't really take many impacts, so maybe that's for an extreme case hotter than the SMB ammo that we were shooting today. Stripping from here is going to be the same, knocking this pin out, and then there's your locker. It's a little bit longer than before, maybe helping add some bolt mass. For those of you with complaints or concerns about the way some of the earlier 9mm had their guide rods set up, you can see this rod is holding the captured spring. It's altogether a telescoping system, so you're not going to have any wandering going on there. The other part I wanted to show you was the left side of the lower receiver. You notice we've got a change to the bolt lock and release, more like traditional AR, just minus the ping pong paddle, if you will. Lost the ambi side, probably because all this has to be a bit bigger here. But it really doesn't matter, because with the charging handle on the left side, as you bring the charging handle back, your thumb is right there to hit it to lock open if you wanted to lock open without having an empty magazine. Pretty easy. This is what we have and know so far. What we see in the US soon should be interesting. Wanted to give you guys a sort of sneak peek since we had the ability to. Thanks for watching.